It's Monday, March 30th, 2026, and this is episode 356 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall.
And I'm Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike, we are back from our fantastic trip to Las Vegas for March Madness. Boy, that went well.
Yes, went very well. It was nice to finally have what I call the old day trip where we can do no wrong like in the old days.
Yeah, this was a trip where, and we'll talk about it, gambling was fantastic. But let's start telling it like a story right now. I got in on Wednesday afternoon. Mike, you got in on Friday morning.
Yep.
When I got there Wednesday, I met up with Table Games James. He was there for 2 weeks to celebrate his 40th birthday. And in fact, that day that I arrived was his actual birthday. He came over to Palazzo, which is where I was staying, and we played at the High Limit Bar there at Palazzo. You may have heard them on Handy at the Shandy talk about how that's a great place to play, and the Crap Vegas guys. Yeah, I agree. Only a few video poker terminals there, but most of the time there were seats open, and you got real quality cocktails there for play. You could play, dollar video poker. There were even some games where you could play 25 cent, multiple lines, that kind of thing. But yeah, really a great experience. So
they had only like 5 terminals, right?
Right, yeah. One of them was one of those low handicap terminals, and then like 4 up. It was like 4 or 5 on the top. But very comfortable place to play. I played there later in the trip with Josh Duffy and Marilyn many times. I played way more video poker this trip than I've played in a long, long time. And none of it was free play. I was doing it of my own volition.
Yes. I played a fair amount.
Yeah, you did too.
I played a couple times with you guys, and it went good. It went as expected.
As expected, no royal flushes for either one of us. We were never really close. Anytime we had any kind of draw, nothing interesting to tell you about.
I seemed to get a lot of full houses, but...
Oh, yeah, he would yell. At one point, Mike was in that low handicap seat. And, we'd be having a conversation on the other side of the bar, just, talking. And then suddenly we'd hear Mike say, "Full house!" That was definitely a highlight of the trip.
Yeah. Every time. Just kind of shake everybody up around there.
Oh, good.
Full house!
Good for you, Dr. Mike. Well, later that night, James and his wife, Kim, and I met up with Josh and Marilyn at Wynn to play some craps. But that was kind of the big thing was, we're going to play craps at Wynn because we'd heard the interview with the Wynn dealer on a Crap Vegas episode, and that was really exciting. Not too much to tell there either, really. Listener Jeremy did come to the table. Dr. Mike, you may remember Jeremy from a few years back. He met us at Harrah's Southern California, and he was making all these hardway bets for us, and none of them hit.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He felt so bad, and we're like, hey, we appreciate it. Well, he did hit a few hard ways for me and Josh on this trip, so that was nice. Good to see Jeremy again. The next day, boy, I'll tell you, it was the first day of March Madness, and so James and I, we decided to do a walk, kind of like a boring Jack walk. We walked from Palazzo down to Cosmo, where Josh and Marilyn had gotten seats at the sports bar real early because they knew that during the day, those seats would be at a premium. So they got there real early. We said hi to them and then walked back. So a nice little brisk walk down there and back. I think they ended up playing video poker, Josh said, for 11 and a half hours. They sat and watched all those games 11 and a half hours.
How much do you think was actually spent playing video poker and not talking or gabbing or watching TV?
Yeah, that's a good question. Josh plays pretty quickly, even if he's in a conversation. So I don't want to say he was playing lightning fast, but he did say he got away only losing like $1,000. You can listen to his podcast. He'll tell you more about that.
Okay, well, that's good.
But the rest
That's actually good for that amount.
Oh, yeah, for that amount of time. And he was playing Ultimate X, which, has a high
more
variance.
Volatile.
Yeah. The rest of the day, it was just me gambling at Palazzo. I wanted to earn as many credits as I could so I could get the rest of my trip comped. My first 2 nights were comped, but not the additional 3 nights. So I thought, well, I might as well try to build up my tier credits. That's all really for Thursday. Watch the games. I was sitting, of course, where I could see the games playing video poker.
Yeah, and Ned, you were down, right, at the end of Thursday?
Yeah, I lost Wednesday, lost Thursday. Friday morning, I picked you up at the airport, and we drove straight to Resorts World, where listener Eamon had gotten us tickets for a viewing party there. Oh my gosh, Eamon, thank you so much for that.
Yes.
Because that was kind of one of the experiences we wanted to have with a March Madness weekend in Las Vegas.
Right.
We loved it. We had VIP wristbands, so we had free food, free drinks. We had a couch in this big area with huge screens and everything. We were looking around thinking, wow, this is great. And when we finally met up with Eamon, who we'd never met before in person, Eamon said something to the effect of, yeah, sorry, guys, this is kind of lame. And we had nothing to compare it to. So, we were thinking, oh, well, okay, we'll take your word for it, but we're sure enjoying it here.
For me, it was very fun. I mean, the food was very good. I thought, kind of like bar food.
Yeah, it was like bar food, yeah.
But, it was good and unlimited drinks. And they had a bunch of snacks like, popcorn and candy. They had movie-sized things of Milk Duds, Red Vines, and hot tamales, and there's all kinds of stuff like that. So I took advantage of that and loaded up on that.
Yeah, you snagged some and took them with you, right? For later.
Yeah, I took a few for later and enjoyed the Milk Duds and Red Vines. And it was pure heaven, Mark. It was like a kid in a candy store.
After some of the early games were over, there are some periods where maybe there's only one game going on or no games. We went out to the floor, of course, and hit a little craps. I don't think we had too much luck at Resorts World, did we?
No, we didn't. It wasn't bad. Actually, I think I left there up a little bit.
Okay.
But it wasn't anything to speak of.
And then we went back, watched a few more games. It was kind of exciting to be in a room full of a lot of people for some of the moments. Now, the end of that Santa Clara and Kentucky game, well, the end of regulation, I should say,
right,
where Santa Clara made this three-pointer just absolutely astounding. It looked like that was going to win the game. And then Kentucky made just an improbable three-pointer to tie it and take it into OT. Boy, that place erupted.
Yes.
While we were sitting there watching some of the games, Eamon and his friend Brian were actually back in the casino. And I get a text from him. They went and played a slot machine. They both put in $200. And like on the fourth pull, I think they were doing it was like $20-some a pull. Fourth pull, jackpot, 19,000 plus bucks.
Oh.
His friends who were sitting with us, were just incredulous. Like, oh, this guy, it's unbelievable. What do you... So, Eamon, even though maybe you thought the viewing party at Resorts World wasn't all that great, you're probably glad you went to Resorts World. So congratulations
right.
to you and Brian.
And that was kind of the takeoff point for us.
Right. We only stayed a little bit longer at the viewing party and then said our goodbyes. You had a room down at Horseshoe that you needed to check in for, even though you were going to just stay with me at Palazzo. So we went down there, checked in. You had some free play that you were able to play. And we found some video poker. Their pay tables are terrible, but we found some video poker. And I said, Mike, play bonus poker, because if you get lucky and you hit one of those four of a kinds that gives you a little extra, well, then that'll be good.
Yeah.
And you sat and you played, and sure enough, you did hit one of those four of a kinds. So
yeah, I think I got 4 threes or something.
It was something like that, 4 threes, 4 fours, but you were able to cash out for more than your free play was worth. So that was good.
Right. Yeah, a couple hundred more than I had in free play.
So then down to Palazzo, and Yeah, it kind of is a blur as to the different sessions that we had over the course of the next few days. But yeah, that was the beginning of we could do no wrong. And a lot of our
Right.
wins came at Crapless Craps.
Yeah, we were killing it at Crapless.
There was one session where listener Tony, who lives in Mesquite, came to see us. And he just watched us play, and we were chatting with him. He must have been a good luck charm because we had the best session of our. It wasn't the best roll of our lives, certainly the best session of our lives, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, at least every second or third shooter would have a big roll.
Yeah, and we didn't win as much money on the session and the table as we did when we rolled all those fours years ago at Caesar's Palace. That moment was incredible. We just won a lot of money. But as far as just a general session goes, I think this was the best one. Certainly, it felt like it. And we said, Tony, you've just witnessed the best session we've ever had in our lives. So, yeah, that was great.
And while we were playing, Tony mentioned that he had a relative here in Caledonia, Minnesota.
Wow.
And I was like, really? Yeah, it's Dr. Poston, who my mother-in-law and my wife had gone to years ago. He has passed away, but they said, oh, he was a great doctor. He even made house calls. So that was just a weird coincidence. And it kind of shows you how, it really is a small world.
We just kept winning and winning after that. Eventually, we met up with Jim from New York. I had not seen him since we originally met in Atlantic City. I think you had seen him since.
I had seen him a couple times since in Vegas, yeah.
But it was a long time for me. We had a lot of fun playing with him. When we ended up on the crapless table, what Jim would do was just bet the 2 and 12. Put quite a bit of money on the 2 and 12.
Yep.
And, all it would take is a shooter to hit either one of them, and he's up for the roll. That's pretty much what he did the whole trip when we were playing crapless. I think he came out ahead. He had some good luck with that.
Yeah, he had some good luck. It didn't hurt when one time you were rolling and you rolled 3 of them.
Oh, yeah.
1, he's ahead. 2, he's got a nice win. And 3, it was great.
It's crazy. And then on another roll, this was actually another roll. We needed the 2 and the 12 for the all. Or I should say you did, because I wasn't on the bet. The 2 and the 12. And of course, those were the only numbers that Jim was on. I rolled a 2. Everybody's all excited. The very next roll rolled a 12.
Yeah, and who called it before you rolled the 2? Who said, now back-to-back 2, then 12?
Oh, I don't know. You?
Yes, of course. Right. And then there it was. Oh, that was a sweet moment.
Yeah. But that's just kind of the way that it went for us the whole trip, too. We're on a crapless table, so you and I both have the 2 and 12. We're doing great there, too.
Yeah.
Gosh, even towards the end of the trip, when it's like, oh, should we play a little more and things aren't going very well? Yeah, let's play a little bit more. We'd end up having a winning session. Just really unbelievable. Yeah, after we left Resorts World, I think every session we had was winning, as far as craps goes.
Well, even slots. Remember, I put in, what was it, like $200 or something in some slot machine while you were running an errand?
Yeah, so the very last day, Mike and I, this is when, we're checking out of Palazzo. And we need to cash out some sports tickets. And we go to the Palazzo, it's a little sports counter, basically. And nobody's working, even though it says that they're supposed to be open. So Mike says, well, why don't you go over to Venetian and cash out our tickets, and I'll just sit here and wait for you. So that's what I did. When I came back, you were playing, it was one of the Huff and Puff machines, I think.
Yeah, it was Huff and Puff.
And yeah, you started with 200, and what'd you cash out for? Over 1,000?
Like over 1,000, yeah. It was just crazy. We just couldn't do anything wrong. As soon as we left Resorts World, everything after that went our way.
That's kind of our trip chronologically, but let's talk about some specific things. I know you've got things on your list, Mike. What else is there?
Well, at Resorts World, when we walked into Resorts World from the parking structure, if we made a left, that's where the event thing was. Mm-hmm. And there was a bathroom by there. And you know how in a bathroom, Usually you walk up to a sink and you're facing the faucet. There's a mirror behind the sink, and then there's the faucet and the soap and all
Okay,
that kind
yeah,
of
I
stuff
think
right
we've
in
all
front of you.
been in front of
Well,
a
they
faucet
had
at a restaurant.
5 stations like that, but the one on the end, you'd walk up, face the mirror, and the faucet was on like your left side of the sink, and the soap was on the right side. And I don't know why that one was
Was it lower? Was it like a handicap
no,
spot?
no,
Okay.
not at all. It was exactly even with all the rest. It was just set up differently. Like some plumber, like, oh shoot, I screwed up.
I guess I'll just keep installing with what I've got.
Yeah.
All right. What else?
Oh, so we mentioned Jim played with us quite a bit. And on Saturday and Sunday morning, when Jim came to meet us, he would pull out a Mountain Dew out of a bag for me.
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
He had bought a Mountain Dew, and there was a couple times I really needed it. I was tired.
Yeah, because none of the restaurants we went to had Mountain Dew, and the cocktail waitresses couldn't get Mountain Dew for you, so that was a good treat.
Yes, that was an excellent treat. Jim also had a stack of $2 bills, and he would give us a $2 bill. He put one in front of me, and then he put a second one.
Yeah, like
That
before we
you,
shot, it was for like good luck. Yeah.
Right. And those $2 bills really worked well.
Yeah,
and
did.
at one point I said to Jim, "Where'd you get the $2 bills?" And he looked at me with kind of almost a puzzled look and said, "The bank?" I thought that was funny.
That's where you
I
get
just
them.
go to the bank and ask for $2 bills.
Yeah.
Also, Melanie stopped by and played with us for a while.
I actually saw her on the second night. I was at a table and it wasn't going well, and everybody left except me and this other guy. We just kept switching being the shooter, and it was terrible. Melanie came up, thank goodness, and had a great role. Didn't get us all the way back, but she had a great role. Then she played with you, me, and Jim for a little while. And then Jim, Melanie, and I walked over to Win and played some Pai Gow tiles.
Right.
Thank goodness Jim was with us, because I had forgotten a lot of it. I tried to set my tiles the way that I thought it should be. I usually got it right. Sometimes I got it wrong. But thank goodness he was there, and the dealers could tell that Jim really knew what he was talking about. I think one dealer even said, "Yeah, you know more about this game than some of the dealers here." And I ended up winning like $100 and some bucks. So
yeah,
that
they
was
said
great.
You couldn't lose.
Yeah, so thanks again, Jim.
Yeah, and Melanie was with us, and Jim made a comment how positive she is.
Oh,
and I was thinking about that. Yeah, she's always so positive. It's like a breath of fresh air when she comes over.
Yeah, it's always fun when she's around.
Yeah. And at one point, when we were at Palazzo, we went to the food court over at Venetian because we were hungry. And I went in with the idea I was going to get a hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe you were going to get like chicken or something.
Yeah, like chicken, like or something. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And we ended up, when we got there, both going to Panda Express.
Oh my gosh, there's a Panda Express right there. How could we not go?
Yeah, and it was delicious.
It was so good. It was the best Panda Express I've ever had. I don't know if we were extra hungry, but it was so good.
It was good. I ordered a 3-side thing where you get 3 entrees.
Yeah.
And they have the tray set up for 2 entrees. And then your third entree, comes on the side in a
they have to put in a separate box. Yeah,
like a to-go thing. You'd think they'd have a 3 entree tray.
I think it's because most people just don't order the 3 entrees. It's too much food.
Yeah, and it might be too heavy with all that in there. But I got that, and I got an egg roll, and I got a large drink, and I was stuffed. I ate it all, but I was stuffed. And that Kung Pao chicken was really hot and spicy.
Yeah.
Which was good. It wasn't, like a Americanized version of Kung Pao chicken. It was good.
This is you and I, Dr. Mike. We're talking about, what'd you eat in Las Vegas? Panda Express.
Express.
Is so good.
We also, though, did eat at the Grand Lux.
Yeah, I ate at Grand Lux a couple of times. That's always a good
times.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, the food was excellent. I had a
I agree.
steak
Yeah.
that one time, and I'll tell you, that was one of the better fillets I've ever had.
Yeah,
I mean,
as we were sitting there, Dr. Mike looks at me and says, you know what? I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is one of the best filet mignons I ever had, right? We're not in a steakhouse.
Yeah.
We're just at Grand Lux Cafe. So, all right.
Yeah, but it was a melt in your mouth, and it was a good size. Yeah, we had really good experiences there. Oh, I was 10-4 in sports bets, which was nice.
Good. Yes. Excellent.
Yeah.
Couple more items in my notes here. I was playing some Face Up Pai Gow, and listener Michael and his wife Amy came up. Michael is the listener who called in our last episode saying, hey, we've never been to Vegas before. What are some suggestions on things to do and some low rolling things? I had tweeted that I was at Palazzo. They came over, tracked me down. So great to meet you, Michael and Amy. That was nice. I appreciate you stopping by. Also, Dr. Taylor. We saw Dr. Taylor and played with him for a little bit.
Played with him
right?
for a little bit.
So that was good. Yeah, he was out for the games. At one point, Mike, you and I and Josh and Marilyn were playing in the Palazzo High Limit. And we're talking, we're having conversations about everything. And a guy at another terminal came up to us and said, are you Mike and Mark? He was a listener. His name was Marshall, recognized our voices. So we had a nice conversation with him. And I said, hey, and this is Josh from Crap Vegas. He said, oh, yeah, I recognize that voice too. So it's always fun when somebody, who doesn't expect to see us or we're not even expecting to see, maybe hears our voices and says, hey, I think I know those voices. So great to meet you.
And it's unusual because we're very quiet. I don't know how he heard us.
Yeah, we're like wallflowers when we're in a casino. We're yelling and everything. And
it's kind of hard not to hear us. Which brings up another point I was going to make, Mark. We had, at least myself, when I was flying home, I thought about it. We had no jerks on any of our tables. No, drunks who slowed the game down or people who, just did weird things.
Or belligerent.
Or belligerent.
I didn't think about that either, Mike, but you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just all super nice people.
Yeah.
It was like Be Super Nice weekend or something.
Yeah.
Usually, you're at some table and there's somebody drunk or somebody who gets in an argument with the dealers over something or other. We had nothing like that. And we were, I was there 3.5 days.
Yeah.
You were there like 5.
Yeah.
It's weird to go that long and not have, something in Vegas.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
And then when I was on the way back home, the plane was super quiet. All the planes going to Vegas are always loud and bubbly. And then coming back, they're always quiet.
Yeah.
But it was a nice flight, actually. The only thing negative about Palazzo that I'll say, and this is a minor point because we had a great stay there, but the Kleenex in the room, it was school grade Kleenex.
Oh, so you needed to use like 2 or something to really...
Yeah, and it was kind of coarse and rough. It wasn't that, soft Kleenex you buy for your house. And I'm thinking a nice place like Palazzo, they should have that.
A couple things about the Palazzo room, not enough outlets.
Oh, yeah.
Very scarce on outlets. Or if there were outlets, things were already plugged into them.
Right.
The only USB ports that I could find were in the clock radio, which, okay, that's fine. It's by the bed. You can charge your phone. But what gets me is like using the iron. How many times have you been in a room where it's like, okay, where should I put the ironing board where I can plug in the iron? And there's no obvious spot, right? It's just kind of awkward. I ended up just doing it in the bathroom because the plug is right there. But yeah, otherwise, Palazzo really enjoyed staying there. One thing I want to brag about, at one point during a huge roll, when I had bets pressed up like crazy, there was a guy to my right, super nice guy, and he said, can I buy in now? I know it's not, he was just watching this roll. You know how that can be, where, you're trying to be polite, but then you just see this huge roll going. He said, can I just buy in? I said, oh, it's fine with me. Yeah, no problem. And so I look and I think, and I leaned over to the dealer real quiet and said, all right, I'm off this roll. Had my bets turned off. Sure enough, 7 out. And
Yep.
we looked at that, Mike. That saved me about $2,300.
Yep.
That's how
Yeah.
much I had out there.
Yeah.
And then, on the next shooter, I just went back to my base bet. So, yes, it's stupid. And again, should I brag about it or be embarrassed about it? I don't know. It helped me.
Yes, it helped you.
You wanted me to remind you to talk about the best cocktail waitress ever.
Oh, yeah, the best cocktail waitress ever. So we're playing at Palazzo, and this waitress was waiting on us, and I was getting tomato juice. Not spicy, just regular tomato juice with ice. And after our session ended there, we went over to Venetian and we're playing. And the waitress comes by and she says, "Another tomato juice?" And I look, and it was the same waitress from Palazzo, but she remembered me and my order.
From maybe,
And
it might have been from the day before even.
Yeah, it could have been. And I said, "Oh my God, it's not even the same casino." And you remembered my order and my face and everything. I thought, best cocktail waitress ever. A whole different casino, and she still remembers your order. I guess they switch back and forth.
Yeah, they must, yeah.
So that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. So, Mike, on that last day, I dropped you off at Horseshoe, probably about 9 or 10 in the morning, and then I just drove home. How did things go for you? I know you didn't sleep well the night before, so I think you were talking about just going straight to lie down at least.
Right. And that's what I did initially. I went upstairs and laid down. Ended up waking up about 1:30. Went downstairs, thought, well, I'll play a little bit. It was miserable. It was just me. It was a crapless table. Then somebody would come and play for a minute or two and leave. And then it was me again, alone. And then someone would come. It was like that the whole time. And I'd lost just a little bit what I had brought down in my pocket, which was not a lot. And I said, well, this is ridiculous. So I just went back up to the room and laid down until it was, I think I left for the airport about 4. So not much there. But I will say this, Horseshoe, it was Bally's, right? And then they rebranded it to Horseshoe, but they really didn't improve it any.
I think a lot of people feel that way. Sure. There was a rebranding, some carpet changes and signage and things, but yeah.
Not much. And it's still just, I don't know, it's just run down. I guess if I'm going to explode any casino, that's the one.
Okay.
It just needs to be redone. Maybe moved closer to the strip, the street there.
Okay. So, yeah, we had talked about what might be the next strip property to be imploded. You were pushing for exploding them instead of imploding them.
Right.
That might be a good choice now that you mention it, Horseshoe. Yeah, that might be a good explosion.
Yeah, it's on the corner there, so, it may not be that hard to explode.
It does have the only Keno Lounge on the strip, though,
Yes,
still. That is one quality.
It does have Keno Lounge, but it just doesn't seem like the space is used properly. I've always felt that about that place. Just shake it up a little, move things around. I don't know, do something. But yeah, that place is getting kind of run down, as most of the Caesars properties are.
Well, Mike, even with this loss at the end there, was this your best trip ever as far as winning goes?
No.
Okay.
Not my best trip ever, but in the top 3.
Oh, excellent. It was definitely my best trip ever. So, well, of course, we're going to say, hey, what a great trip after we won. But everything else associated with it, too, was fantastic. We finally did March Madness, and we actually watched games while we were there.
Yeah.
Just a great trip. So thanks to everybody that we saw when we were there. We might be forgetting some people here. I'm trying to remember some other stories, and we'll probably think about it as soon as we're done recording. But another great trip. Do you have anything else, Dr. Mike?
No, not really. Yeah, I think I touched on all the highlights. But I can't remember such a good trip.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Mike, we can finally report our poker tournament results. As always, It seems like decades ago that we played. But another successful, you can bet on that, poker tournament. No real stories, Dr. Mike, as far as you and I are concerned, right?
Well, I finished above you. I
You
don't know if
did. You
that's
did. I finished in 60th place. You finished in 55th. That was out of 116 players. So, yes, you did beat me. But
and I was in the top half. You were in the bottom half.
yeah. But again, no real bad beats or anything. Just, how that can kind of go in a tournament. So, no real stories to tell there.
Right.
But our first place winner was Godard Play Money. Congratulations to him. He got a $100 gift card. Second place was 56L Phelps, $50. Third place was Crammy Davis Jr. They got $25. Six Weight, WEIGHT, took me out in 60th place, so they got a $25 gift card. And Jaspa7732 took you out, Dr. Mike. They also got $25 gift card.
Nice.
And as he often does, listener Richard S. from the UK donated $100 to the charity of the winner's choice. And Godard Play Money chose the William Way Community Center, a nonprofit that serves the LGBT community in Philadelphia. So another great cause. Thank you, Godard Play Money, and thank you, Richard S.
Yes. Yeah, it was a fun tournament. It went kind of quickly initially, and then when it got down the final table, it slowed a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, and you expect that.
Right.
The better players, supposedly, right, show up towards the end there. And it did finish at about the 4-hour mark, which is typical for our tournament. So very good.
Yeah, they've been pretty consistent about, between 3.5 and 4 hours. So if you make it all the way.
We got an email from listener Justin. He says, "Hey guys, this was a little while back, but my buddy and I are from Vermont, and we went out to New York to a Bills game. My Eagles won, and it was great. The casino in Buffalo was small, but was overall a good casino. The Dice Cruise Sunday morning was amazing and was very friendly, even when I had my Eagles jersey on. Anyway, on our way home, we decided to swing into Turning Stone Casino, as neither of us had ever been. This was a Monday morning, so we were able to get on a $10 craps table. We decided that along with the pass line and our numbers, to have $5 always working on the hard 6 and 8. The plan was if either one hit to full press and make it 50. We played for a while, pretty even, but always had that hard 6 and 8 working. We finally hit a hard 6, so we both said press to 50. The stick was talking to the pit boss and inadvertently put the $50 on hard 8 instead of hard 6. I immediately saw the mistake, but no one else did. Another roll came and was a non-factor, like a 9 or something. Then I spoke up and said, "Hey, what was that last roll?" And we talked through it, and it got moved to the hard 6. Anyway, this started a big discussion with my buddy and me. Should I have said something? If we didn't notice that the mistake had been made and a hard 6 came up, would they have honored it? Or if it stayed on 8 and a hard 8 came up, would they have honored it, even though it was meant to be on 6? Mike, I think this was a really great question because this is not just accepting a dealer mistake. We've talked about how sometimes we will not call attention to a dealer mistake in our favor. But here's a mistake where it's almost an angle shoot at that point. Right. If you don't say anything and it stays out on a hard 8 and hard 8 comes up, you get it. But then if a hard 6 comes up, you could say, "Hey, wait a minute. Hard 6 came up before. That's what should have been pressed."
Right.
In there. So it's almost like a free roll. It's a little different here. This is a much grayer area. What do you think?
Well, I think what would happen is if it's a good casino with a good pit boss and you didn't say anything, if hard 8 came up, they would pay it. If hard 6 came up and you said, "Hey, that was supposed to be a hard 6," a good casino boss said, "Oh, yep, our mistake," and move it to the 6 and pay you.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying would happen. The question is, should you speak up?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I'd just leave it there because, you're kind of locked into hard 8, hard 6. Now, here's the downside. What about if it next rolls an easy 8?
Well, then it's the same thing. You could say,
Are
hey,
you
wait
gonna
a
say,
second.
wait
Yeah,
a second, that was supposed to be a 6?
sure. Right. I mean, there are a lot of
And they
ways.
probably move it if,
Yeah.
if it was a dealer mistake.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's an angle shoot. You're taking your chances that the casino's going to be cool with moving it. But
I asked a few people this question when I was in Vegas before you showed up, and most people agreed with you. They would just leave it. My initial reaction was, no, I'd probably say something.
yeah, like, oh, that's supposed to be a 6.
Yeah, only because I don't know. Again, this is sort of a moral question, an ethical question, and nothing's ever black and white. To me, this wasn't as clear cut as somebody just overpaying me on a place bet. But at the same time, I can certainly see your side. Very interesting, though. I thought this was a great question and something we'd never really even considered before.
Yeah, and if it gives you any consternation at all, I would say just correct it right away. Say, "Oh no, that's supposed to be 6."
Oh, if you're worried about it causing you some stress, then absolutely say something. Sure.
Yeah, I did just say something, and then the chips fall where they fall.
Yeah,
right?
and then if a hard 8 comes up, you just okay, I did the right thing, quote unquote. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And there's actually no real right or wrong answer, I think.
Yeah, again, it's an ethical question, and for some people it might be black and white, for others very gray. Yeah. Good. Thanks for the question, Justin. Well, Dr. Mike, you now have your dates set for your visit here to San Diego. You're coming out for your daughter's graduation. So that is going to be Wednesday, June 10th through Tuesday, June 16th. Do I have that right?
Correct. Yeah.
All right. So I'm sure you and I will find some time to hit the casino while you're here, and we will tweet about that too. So watch Twitter X for that
It'll
information.
Be nice. And because I'll be there as a visitor, and since you're retired now, we don't have to worry about you getting back to work.
Right. Right.
Getting a phone call that, there's a meeting or something.
Yeah. Now,
as we used to do.
Right. No, this will be perfect. As we get closer, we may have some more definite details about when we'll be freeing at the casino. So again, watch X, listen to the show. We'll let you know. Now, unfortunately, those dates actually correspond with this year's Black Hawk trip that Thomas and Melissa set up.
Oh.
So we will not be going to Black Hawk this year.
Okay.
And Thomas was saying that in the future, he's going to try to make Black Hawk around that same time of year. The weather's nice and it doesn't conflict with school and things like that. But anyway, we're not going to be able to go this year. Also, I'm not sure that I'm going to get out for the WSOP because all of my poker buddies, that is the week that they're going out. They're going to play in the senior tournament. So maybe I'll go some other earlier in the WSOP later, I don't know. But for right now, that is also up in the air because I want to be here for my good friend, Dr. Mike, so that we can go to the casino.
It would be nice to get out to some of the casinos while I'm there.
Yeah. All right, Dr. Mike, we got another email from listener David. This is kind of interesting. He says, I am curious of the individual hot bets, which are your top 3? What are your top 3 hot bets, Dr. Mike? And let's eliminate the 2, 3, 11, and 12, since they have dedicated places out in the center of the table. So we'll ignore those hot bets, even though those are technically hot bets. Ignoring those, what are your top 3 favorite hot bets, Dr. Mike?
Top 3 favorite hot bets. Well, I like to hop the hard ways.
Okay, yeah.
If I have them pressed and it's a come out and I don't want to cover them or anything, I'll just turn them off and, make some hot bets.
You'll make hot bets for the ones that you've already pressed up.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
I do like that.
All right. We'll count that as one of the top 3, the hard way. Okay.
5s and 9s, I see.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? I was thinking 5s and 9s too. I don't ever see you really hopping the 6s or 8s. Sometimes you will, but all right. So we'll count that as 2. So number 1 is the hard ways. Number 2 is 5 or 9. Okay.
Right.
And how about a third? I think there's an obvious choice, but go ahead.
The 7s.
Yeah, of course. Hop in the 7s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in some casinos, you will get paid better hopping the 7s than just betting big red. It depends on what the hot beds pay, but yes.
Right, but ask for a three-way 7. Always just ask for a three-way 7. Then you get it hopping if they have it. If you don't, they just put it on red anyway.
Right.
So, yeah, those would be my suggestions.
All right, very good. Good answer. Thanks for the question, David. Hey, Dr. Mike, you and I were guests on the Cheftimony podcast. We're actually on the most recent episode 80. We sat with host Graham McLennan and talked about steakhouses, and specifically steakhouses in Vegas. I don't know how much we had to really offer, but we certainly had a good time talking with Graham about them. Yeah.
I'd like talking with him about stuff like that.
So that was a lot of fun. I don't even know if you know this, Dr. Mike, but he named the episode after something you said in the episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I won't spoil it here, but I'll let listeners go. Check out the latest episode of Cheftimony.
Okay.
Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first. You can bet on that.com and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. That means it's time for voicemails. First up is Nathan.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike, Nathan from Sacramento. I just listened to the current show and heard you guys are going to Vegas. That's great. Have a good time. And also on a previous show, you said you were headed to New Orleans at some point. I just wanted to say my wife and I just took the Caesars flight from San Francisco to New Orleans, and it was a great trip. Usually I get the ones to go from San Francisco to Reno to fly up there, but I actually live closer to Reno than driving to San Francisco. Anyway, it's still nice that they send it, but I was going to say I was there, New Orleans, 20 years ago, and I thought it was okay, during the week, a little slow, but anyhow, they really done a lot with the property, and it's actually beautiful the way they've fixed it up. I did hear it was quite a bit of money, so I guess if you put that much into anything, it's going to be nice. The hotel was great. One thing, if I'm, being kind of picky, I thought there really wasn't much of like a New Orleans flair to the property, except there's one kind of entry bar thing where you go in and it's kind of looks like it would look in New Orleans, but the overall casino is just kind of plain. But again, it's really nice. Restaurants are great. Anyhow, I did something I've never done before. I had $100 in free play, and my wife doesn't really play much, but I told her, let's play craps and just play the pass line, $25 a shot. And she said, well, I don't want to. She went to bed on her last night early, and I said, I got these coupons still. So long story short, I took those $100 and I ran it to $1,000 by placing the 6 and 8 and 50 on the line. Just hit a great roll. So I told the dealers, I'm sure glad my wife went to bed. They were cracking up. Usually, about the best I do is, if I have $100 in free play, I might walk away with $100 after playing. Anyhow, I just wanted to say hi, and you guys are going to have a great time, hopefully in Vegas and New Orleans. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Nathan. Yeah, Dr. Mike, let's talk about New Orleans a little bit here. We are going to be there for the National Association of Casino Party Operators Conference. They have asked us to come, and we're going to run a panel where we do some Q&A talking about when you and I used to deal for casino parties. That was a big part of our lives when we were single. And so we're going to do that. And then we're going to move over to Biloxi and spend some time there. So the dates are going to be Monday, July 13th through Saturday, July 18th. The first 2 nights we're going to be in New Orleans at the conference, and then the rest of the trip we're going to move over to Biloxi. We have not made any plans yet. We'll probably stay at IP in Biloxi, but again, stay tuned. The dates, again, July 13th through the 18th. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. I like that we're going to Biloxi.
Yeah, I don't know about July in New Orleans. Yeah, that's going to be pretty hot, but we'll survive. Hot. Well, I don't think we'll be outside much.
Right.
All right. Next up is Jeff.
Hey guys, it's Jeff from Los Angeles. I was a part of your poker tournament. That was great. Mark, you were actually at my table when you busted out, and I don't know if you guys know it, but about 2 minutes later, Dr. Mike joined the table. Table broke, and I don't know how he did. I hope he won. I got about 32nd place. It was fun. Thank you for putting that on. I didn't hear this in your last podcast, and I think it came out, but out here in California, I'm being told that they're going to stop doing blackjack games at the casinos starting, I think it was April 1st. That's shocking to me, and I hear casinos are trying to sue over this. That's going to be something that's going to kill the local casinos. Of course, tribal, you can still play it. They must be happy. But any banked games where it's players playing against another player who's banking the game is how sort of we got around the loophole here in California. And it sounds like April 1st, that goes away. I'm shocked. What do you guys know about this? Thanks for all you do. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, we actually did talk about this on a previous episode. It was our February 17th, 2026 episode 353. Yes, it's card rooms that will no longer be able to deal blackjack. Now, this is a result of the tribal casinos really pushing the state government to prevent the card rooms from doing this. The tribes want basically a monopoly on these table games. And so that's what it has come down to. Go back and take a listen to that episode. We talk a little more about it. But the actual regulations use the word blackjack. So who knows how that will be interpreted? Will that mean they'll still be able to deal other player-banked games like carnival games, street card poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, or even Pai Gow poker, baccarat, that kind of thing? We'll see what happens. But it is unfortunate for the card rooms.
Yeah, they're going to lose a little business there.
All right, next up is Joseph.
Hey guys, this is Joseph from Grand Prairie, Texas. I'm right outside of Dallas. First of all, thanks for hosting the tournament. I had a great time and I had a great finish. I go by Little Joe 71 and I finished 4th. I was leading for a bit, which felt great, and I went for it but didn't get the cards and got knocked out. But anyway, also wanted to say I'm part of a PokerStars poker club and I brought 3 players along to the tournament with me, and I'd like to shout out Lawson Carolina, BNL fan, and Jules 400 and thank them for playing. I always try to turn people onto this tournament and to this podcast because you guys are great. So I just wanted to say thanks. Thanks for hosting again, and can't wait for the next one. Take care. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Joseph. Yeah, our next one will be the Sunday before the NFL season starts. So that should be September 6th, 2026. So looking forward to that. Stay tuned. We'll give you more details. Dr. Mike, we do have some more voicemails, but I think we've got a pretty long show here already. Why don't we save those for next time? Also, that'll guarantee we actually have some content for next time. What do you think?
That sounds good.
Okay. So that'll wrap it up for this episode. We want to thank some people for some recurring donations. From Brian and Sarah, from Josh H., from the guys over at Crap Vegas, and from Brian Dancer. Thank you very much for those recurring donations. We also got a donation from listener Eric H., past posting a karma donation after a good trip to Vegas March 13th through the 16th. Had a Pai Gow Royal and much video poker luck, and I believe it was because I re-listened to past episodes on the plane ride from Pittsburgh. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you very much, Eric. We also got a donation from Jim from New York while we were in Vegas. He whispered in my ear, if Dr. Mike hits this 12, I'm going to make a donation. And he did. You hit the 12, and he gave us a nice donation. So thanks again, Jim, and it was great to see you. Also a donation from Tim Lawson. He was hoping to play in our poker tournament. He wasn't able to make it. So he gave us a donation instead. So thank you very much, Tim. And finally, a donation from listener Mark T. Karma donation to try and manifest a trip to Vegas for my 50th birthday. Started playing craps last year, and I'm still trying for the all, tall, small. Love the show. Oh, yeah, you've got to go for your 50th birthday. Everyone needs to go for their 50th birthday to Las Vegas, so hopefully that'll happen. You can buy merchandise for You Can Bet on That and for the Better Life at bettermerch.com. That's BETTOR merch.com. You'll find a link for that at the top of our webpage. Also on our webpage, you'll find a list of all the gambling-related shows coming up on American television in the next 2 weeks at youcanbetonThat.com/TV-listings. If you're looking for a movie to watch, check out our list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonThat.com/movies. If you want to listen to songs with gambling-related lyrics, check out our You Can Bet on That Spotify playlist. Just click the link towards the top of our webpage. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 951-2-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter at You Can Bet on That and on Facebook at facebook.com/You Can Bet on That. All right. What do you got, Dr. Mike?
Well, Mark, after tomorrow, we will be down to the Final Four in basketball.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep.
And I'm just going to bring this up once until things change. But our Padres are not off to a good start.
No, they're not. So you're only going to bring it up once until things change. So if they lose every game until the next episode.
You'll never hear from me again.
Okay. Sounds good.
Oh, these first two games were terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. But it's baseball season, so I'll be watching them all anyway.
All right. Very good.
What choice do I have?
No choice.
Yeah, no choice at all.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We will talk again in 2 weeks.
Yep. See you then.
This whole town's going to because the Chargers and the Clippers betrayed us.
Really? Now?
Seriously, broke our heart for what? To be second fiddle to the Rams and the Lakers?